So here we are. So I got all the intercooler installed, and upon starting the truck and taking it for a drive out of here, I noticed I had a lot of white smoke blowing that was not blowing before. Maybe every once in a while I had a little bit of smoke if I got down on it, typical with diesels. But this wasn't normal. Well, I knew that just putting the intercooler on had nothing to do with anything that should cause an oil problem. So it didn't take me very long to think about it, and I realized what the problem was. The old tubes, the boots were weak, the clamps were weak, it was not holding pressure. Once I sealed this up tight and that turbo was holding pressure again, apparently it has weak seals, or if you want to call them rings, oil rings, that keep that oil that circulates through that pump on that bearing. But nevertheless, I believe it's because now it's under pressure. Before it wasn't, and the oil may have just been passing slowly, but not a significant amount. So I got up this morning and I wanted to come over and just verify my theory that it must be pumping oil through the motor. Because I know when I post this, there's going to be people come up with a lot of comments. Sometimes. And one of the things they may start trying to say is, your rings in your engine are leaking, or your valve guides are bad, or it's with your injection pump, or you've got a bad head gasket. Well, it's none of the above. I'm pretty wise to all of this, and years of knowledge behind these things. It's pretty simple math. There was no smoke before. Seal up the system good, and with this intercooler now there's instant, just right from the boom start smoke. It has to do with the turbocharger only. So I came over here this morning, I pulled a pipe loose, the crossover pipe between the turbo going into the intercooler, to see if there is oil inside. That would tell me the story right there. And here's what I found. So upon taking this apart this morning right here at this joint, I reached my finger right inside and look what I found. Nice black nasty oil. Now that tells you one thing. It is pumping oil from that bearing in here, this oil line right here, that bearing, that it is pushing oil around that bearing, out through those rings or seals as you might want to call them, into the compressor side of the turbocharger and straight around into the engine. So this means my new intercooler is going to have a little bit of oil residue that's going to have to get burned off over time in it, but it'll pass. I've caught it early on and I stopped it. Reach inside here, I bet I find more oil. Yep, pretty black. It's funny when you pull the dipstick, it's not so black. That oil's probably getting burned up around that bearing, weak bearing. Next question is what I do about it. Well, I know what to do about it. I knew from the beginning what to do. Replace the turbo or have it rebuilt. And I do not want to wait. Not at all, not for a minute. And I'll tell you why. You drive this and that seal completely fails, or that bearing fails. That's the number one thing. That bearing fails, that shaft gets too much play, particles from that bearing can go into that turbo, into your engine, clog my new intercooler, go into my motor and unravel my engine. I might as well just dump a handful of rocks inside the motor. So here I am. I'm on Panay Island in the middle of the Philippines. These vehicles was pretty much imported secondhand from Japan into this country years ago. Most of them came in left-hand drive, converted to right-hand drive. Or did I get that vice versa? They were right-hand drive and they were converted to left-hand drive like we have in the United States. So the deal with that is you can't just run down to a local parts store or something like that here in this island and in this town of Iloilo and find a turbocharger. or possibly even a company that would have the parts to rebuild this turbocharger. So I went over here to a shop across the road that I've just met these guys. Joe's Off-Road, I believe is what it's called. He's almost right across the highway from me over here. Well, he suggested that I pull it off. He puts it on Philippine Airlines or one of the air cargos to Manila, that he's got a shop he's in contact there that can rebuild this turbo, send it back down here to me on air cargo, and they put it on. Well, I considered that, and I told him we'd probably do that, but then I thought again. I decided, I know how things work here in the Philippines, and I'm not criticizing. It's their way, it's their life. It's kind of like, different countries have this. They call it Filipino time. You tell somebody you're going to be there at 8 o'clock and you show up at 12 o'clock. Or you tell somebody you're going to start on a project tomorrow and you start on it next week. So I didn't want to go that route right now. This could turn into a long drawn out matter if I go that route. So option number 2 was to look online. This country has improved by leaps and bounds just in the past 2 or 3 years of being able to buy stuff online like a lot of the Western world. Lazada and AliExpress has really kicked that up. So I got online and I found a company in Manila that is selling imported from Korea new turbochargers for this. I couldn't tell you if they are the best of quality. I don't know. There's other sellers on there selling them made out of Taiwan. I don't know what's good, what's bad, but these Korean companies, I've pretty much found them to be pretty good. So it doesn't scare me that, oh, it's a Korean-made turbocharger. Now, some of you out there may know something I don't know. You may tell me I'm the biggest fool or jackass there ever was buying one of those. But if it'll even work for me interim right now to keep this vehicle rolling until I can have the original rebuilt, then I'll send it out to a shop. Then I'll have it rebuilt, either put it back on or put it on the shelf as a spare. Probably would put it back on because I'm pretty much a person that likes original. So nevertheless, the price that they gave me was going to be around $800 and with shipping and all $1,000 to rebuild my existing turbo. I was able to buy this new turbocharger out of Korea for, I think it was $416, including shipping, the shipping only being 2 to 3 days coming here. They already notified me that it's on its way. That is Golden Gear Automotive Parts. Richard's who I dealt with. Golden Gear Automotive Parts in Manila. They have all kinds of turbochargers for all kinds of vehicles. They have a pretty ample supply. It comes with the gaskets, it comes with everything. So Richard, I really appreciate you working with me to get that shipped out quick and make this happen pretty fast for me. Golden Gear Automotive Parts in Manila. They're on Lazada, or you can find their Facebook page. And you can deal with them direct there as well. They accept many forms of payment. So this is where I stand right now. The vehicle will get a little bit of rest for the next couple of days, and I will put that new turbo on, try to flush out some of the oil on the parts that I just put on. I'm kind of happy that I did catch this. This was a blessing that I did this project, found this weak part of the system, and it'll get an upgrade, and it'll make me feel more happy and confident going down the road as well. It could have been a catastrophe if that bearing would have failed while we were out riding through the mountains, bouncing island to island, far away from home, because it would have not been easy to get that vehicle back home here. So, island life. When you live in a nation of over 7,000 islands, riding ferries point to point, it's not an easy task if you have to bring a vehicle home. Okay, So that's where I stand now, waiting for a turbocharger. Also, I want to tell you, I have met over the past few days some very interesting people through this vlog, through the Facebook, from around the world. But I met this guy that's over in Beagle, that he has also a Toyota Hilux Surf. He is a U.S. Marine. I would say ex-U.S. Marine, but any of you Americans out there know, once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine. So, he is a very interesting guy. He has also a awesome Gen 2 Toyota Hilux Surf too, but he is a Jeep collector, and he is a toy builder like myself. I'm looking forward to maybe going over and visiting him, or him come visit me. I really want to go his way though. He says he's going to come here. I really want to go there because he's got some projects going on. He loves Jeeps, World War II Jeeps, and he says that he has found MacArthur's Jeep from here in the Philippines, and he has it there. He bought it. I think he said he got it in San Juan, maybe is what he told me. He had a friend come, contact from the General MacArthur Museum, I think it's in Virginia, and they came here and authenticated that Jeep. That is a pretty unique find. So he's in Beagle. It's also down here in the Visayan region, same part of the country I'm in, a little bit of a distance. Like I say, it's some island hopping. He has an interesting collection. He also builds off-road trailers that you can pull, like campers, behind your four-wheel drives. He built one that's like a Nipa roof, like a native roof on this little trailer. And with solar panels on it. What a unique setup. I probably got some pictures popping up here on it right now. Well, I tell you, that is an interesting character, and I've noticed that him and we've got a lot of the same likes. And I really look forward to meeting this gentleman as well. And any of you others out there, if I have any viewers that can pop in, or we can have a meet and greet, I'm all for it. Meanwhile, thank you again. Like, share, subscribe, comment. See you on the next video.